There's a strange kind of silence that follows the end of the world. Not the thunder of bombs, not the scream of collapse, just silence. Imagine walking through a city that was once alive, with billboards flickering, trains rushing, and people shouting through the noise of ambition. Now imagine it empty, windows shattered, moss climbing up concrete walls, the echoes of 1,000 conversations lost to the wind. This is not fiction. This is not the end of civilization by war. It is by weather. By 2050, the United Nations warns that over 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. Entire cities, coastal, inland, desert, will vanish from the map. Not because of conquest, not because of choice, but because the planet will no longer let them exist. I am the witness. I've seen the maps, the data, the satellite reports they don't show on TV. This episode is not a prediction. It's an early obituary for the cities we once called home. The first prophecy begins with a line, the water line. It's invisible, but it decides who survives. Every inch the ocean rises, it erases the homes of thousands. Every wave that breaks against concrete carries away the idea of permanence. Miami, the paradise of palm trees and glass towers, is sinking, slowly, relentlessly. Salt water seeps into its streets, into the veins of its buildings, into the dreams of the people still pretending nothing is wrong. By 2040, vast parts of South Florida will be underwater permanently. The American dream, built on beachfront property, drowned by its own reflection. Venice, the city of romance, has become the city of sandbags. It now floods 250 days a year. Tourists wear boots like pilgrims at a sacred funeral. The locals, fewer every year, move inland, carrying centuries of art and memory on their backs. And Jakarta, a megacity of 30 million, is dying faster than any of them. The ground sinks 10 inches every year, swallowed by the sea and by the weight of its own people. The government has done the unthinkable. They're building a new capital on another island, as if abandoning a sinking ship. But the real tragedy isn't in the water, it's in the denial. Economists call it managed retreat, but there's nothing manageable about watching your childhood street become part of the ocean. When the sea moves, it doesn't negotiate. It takes, and it keeps taking. Every inch costs billions. Every flood shatters another illusion that we can control the planet we've poisoned. The new refugees don't flee war, they flee weather. They don't carry flags, they carry photos, pets, passports, and a memory of a home that no longer exists. If you look closer, you'll see the waterline isn't just on maps. It's rising inside us too. The fear, the loss, the realization that we've crossed a boundary we cannot redraw. Not all cities drown, some burn. Welcome to the heat exodus, the great migration from the lands of unbearable sun. In Phoenix, Arizona, heat is no longer seasonal, it's structural. Summers now reach 45 degrees Celsius, or 113 Fahrenheit, for weeks at a time. Asphalt melts, power grids groan. Construction workers start at midnight because daylight kills. By 2050, Phoenix may become the first major U.S. city uninhabitable during the daytime. In southern Europe, the heat waves come like plagues. 2022, 2023, 2024, each year, the hottest on record. Thousands die quietly. Elderly people in apartments with no air conditioning, their bodies discovered days later. In India, Pakistan, and North Africa, entire farming regions are turning to dust. Wells dry, cattle die, rivers shrink to trickles. Scientists now measure wet bulb temperature, the point where sweat can't cool your body anymore. Stay outside too long, and your organs begin to fail. That threshold, once rare, is now common. In some regions of the Middle East, it's already lethal to stand outside for 6 hours. This is not a forecast, it's a timetable, and the migration has already begun. Families in Mexico moving north, rural Indians moving to crowded cities, Africans moving toward Europe. They are not chasing opportunity, they are running from extinction. The World Bank calls them climate migrants. It predicts 216 million people will be forced to move by 2050, the population of Brazil displaced by a sky that no longer forgives. But this isn't a crisis you'll see breaking on the evening news. It's slow, gradual. A family leaves, then a neighborhood empties, Then the city blinks off the grid. The maps don't change overnight. They fade, pixel by pixel. Behind every statistic lies a story, and every story is a home. Picture a small house by the coast, a garden, a child's drawing taped to the fridge. One day the insurance letter arrives. Coverage withdrawn due to climate risk. The next storm floods the living room. The next heat wave cracks the windows, and then you leave. Not because you want to, because you can't stay. In 2023, $280 billion in climate-related losses were recorded worldwide. But that number can't measure what people actually lost, their sense of belonging. There are entire neighborhoods in California where wildfires erased communities overnight. Towns in Greece reduced to ash, islands in the Pacific that now exist only in memory. Governments try to help, but how do you relocate a culture? How do you preserve a language when its island sinks? For every policy paper, there's a grandmother watching her village disappear beneath the sea. For every data chart, there's a child asking why the sun feels angrier this year. And through it all, there is a silence. No explosion, no single sudden catastrophe. Just the gradual retreat of civilization, step by step, degree by degree. That's how worlds end, not in fire, but in forgetfulness. One morning, a drone flies over what was once a neighborhood. The camera captures only trees and cracked roads. The houses are gone. The people are gone. All that remains are stories and the footprints of a species that thought it could master nature. This is not a film about the planet. It's a film about us. When people move, economies shift. When cities die, power changes hands. History won't remember the excuses, only the consequences. We are the last generation that can choose how loud this silence becomes. You can close this video and scroll on, or you can face it. Comment below. Which city do you think will vanish first? Subscribe not for entertainment but for awareness, because in the next episode we unveil the third prophecy, the water wars, how nations will fight for survival. Until then, listen to the silence, because it's not waiting, it's already here.